Council Republican Club meeting today. On the agenda, we have meet City Council candidates. All candidates for New York City Council are welcome to participate, especially Republicans and those running in Queens. The location is at the Grace Lutheran Church here at the 10315 Union Turnpike in Forest Hills, Queens. So you're welcome to come anytime. We have our meetings. On the agenda today, beginning at 7:30, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the reading of the club's mission, roll call of officers and board members, reading of the club's minutes, committee reports, old business, announcements. Then we'll be talking with Greg Hack, a congressional candidate, City of Yes, congestion pricing, the inauguration on January 20th, non-citizen voting, Mayor Adams' corruption trial, and for new business, we have 30 candidates that have been invited. I believe we have 12 that will be here today, which will include Montel Mosley for mayor, James Manning for mayor, Henry Ikezi for Queensborough President, Bashek Grimes, Queensborough President, Alexander Caruso, District 19, Shai Haike, District 25, Richard Pacheco, District 25, Ramses Frias, District 25, Yapit Singh, 28, Supreet McGrath, 28, Jonathan Rinaldi, and looks like we're starting, so let's turn around to that.
Starting the meeting. Now feel free to continue what you're doing. Okay, we're going to please stand. We're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We're going to read the reading of the club's mission statement by James Strawhorn.
Thank you, Mr. President. The mission of this club shall be to advance the principles and purposes of the Republican Party, to elect Republican candidates to public office, to strengthen the civic welfare of the community, and to engage in a vigorous exchange of ideas supporting Republican values.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Jimmy Schwartzman, the roll call. Jimmy? Jimmy? Yep, roll call.
Daniel Mayo, President.
Here.
David Abraham, First Vice President. Kathy Lawley, Second Vice President. Zitsil Levy, Third Vice President. David Kemp, Recording Secretary. Isaiah Vega, Corresponding Secretary. Akatius Tomaszewski, Treasurer. James Schwartzman, Sergeant of Arms, Present. Martha Roman, Chairman of the Board. Board of Directors. Stephen Weiner. Jim Strawhorn.
Here.
Martha Roman. Philip Grillo. Stan Norwood. Ruben Dario Cruz.
Present.
Joel Solomon.
President.
Catherine Donnelly. Craig Tyson. Vic Starsky. Phil McManus. Juan Pagan. Zili Chow. Gerard Lawley. Emily Zen.
Thank you very much. And then also reading the minutes. The minutes tonight will be read by Dominic Majorano.
Thank you, Mr. President. Minutes of the regular meeting of the Central Queens Republican Club held on December 19, 2024 at Grace Lutheran Church, 103-13 Union Turnpike, Forest Hills, Queens, 11375. Larry Block played several music pieces before the start of the meeting. Kathy Lowley, Second Vice President, called the meeting in order at 7:31 with Dr. Jeff Wheel leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Since the large U.S. flag was not available, his 45-47 Trump cap with a U.S. flag patch was used instead. Jim Strawhorn read the mission statement. Jimmy Schwartzman took the roll call. Board members present: Martha Rowan, Daniel Mayo, Carol Crone, Isaiah Vega, Stan Norwalk, Ruben Cruz, Kathy Lally, Gerald Lally, Jim Strawhorn, Agadush Tomaszewski, and Juan Pagan. Board members absent: David Kemp, Emily Zeng, David Abraham, Zil Cow, Vic Starsky, Joel Solomon, Craig Teisman, Cecile Levy, Catherine Donnelly, Stephen Weiner, Phil McManus, and Phil Grillo. 32 members and 34 non-members were in attendance. Juan Pagan then read the November 21st, 2024 club meeting minutes. Anton Trapman moved to adopt the minutes and was seconded by Arkadiusz Tomaszewski. It was unanimous except for one nay vote from Isaiah Vega. Arkadiusz Tomaszewski gave the treasurer's report indicating a bank balance of $4,602.46 and 87 paid club members. Daniel Mayo gave his annual president's report as required by the club's bylaws. He informed the club that the Central Queens Republican Club was incorporated in 1930 and revived at the start of COVID in 2020. Over the 4-year period, active voters in Queens dropped by 55,268 to 1,242,268. However, the number of registered Republicans increased by 22,189 to 148,859. Democrats lost 11,373, down to 754,840. During the current year, the club hosted 90 speakers and covered various issues including the City of Yes, non-citizen voting, state budget, migrant crisis, Proposition 1, and held a debate between conservatives and socialists. Richard MacArthur reminded the club that the MTA just voted to increase its base fare to $3. Club election. Martha Rowan announced the slated of 9 2025 club officers. Daniel Mayo, President; David Abraham, First Vice President; Kathy Lally, Second Vice President; Cecile Levy, Third Vice President; David Kemp, Recording Secretary; Isaiah Vega, Corresponding Secretary; Carol Crone, Financial Secretary; Arkadiusz Tomaszewski, Treasurer; and James Schwartzman, Sergeant-at-Arms; and 5 2025 to 2027 board members: Stephen Weiner, Jim Strawhorn, Stan Norwalk, Martha Rowan, and Phil Grillo. Since the slate was uncontested, Jim Strawhorn advised the vote was not needed. The board members will elect their chairman, and George Stein and Jonathan Rinaldi volunteered. Announcement. Jonathan Rinaldi spoke on behalf of the newly installed board member Phil Grillo, who was remanded immediately on December 6th in his sentencing in Washington, D.C. for 1 year due to misdemeanor charges resulting from his activities on January 6, 2021. CNN interviewed Jonathan Rinaldi and David Remy. Jonathan asked for commissary donations for Phil. A Give Send Go page has been set up on his behalf. 32 mayoral, 10 public advocate, 5 comptroller, and 3 Queens Borough President candidates were invited to speak at the meeting. 15 candidates participated. Marty Dolan, a centrist Democrat, public advocate, introduced himself as the only person who ran against 2 members of the squad, Jamal Bauman and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. His message is, we have to commit against violence. We are here to make things better for our kids. Colin Thompson, independent, mayor, was a teacher then a principal in Bronx over the last 10 years. He was chairman of the Young Republicans in Tennessee. His campaign is focused on solid 6: school, subway, safety, sanitation, shelter, and small businesses. Fatima Zora Nuanu, Republican from Mayo, former UN employee and US citizen for 25 years, naively thought the United States had no corruption. Her objective is to eradicate corruption and build a safe, clean, and modern city with no homelessness. Ismail Malavi Jr., a common-sense Democrat for comptroller, worked 16 years for 5 controllers: Carl McCall, Alan Hevesy, Tom DiNapoli, Bill Thompson, and John Liu. 27 years as a public servant. He is committed to transparency, eliminating waste, fraud, corruption, auditing agencies, making sure pensions are solvent, and taking politics out of our money. Theo Chino, Democrat public advocate, is leading county committees, Republican and Democrats, to challenge the establishment. His website is repmyblock.org. One of his issues is to have the United Nations move to an outer borough. George Stein suggested Rikers Island. Angela Aquino, wearing a MAGA hat, conservative and Republican public advocate, wants to get rid of Germani Williams. She wants to promote the values of fatherhood and family to solve many social many of society's ills. Excuse me. Jean or John H. Anglade, independent mayor, I will be the voice for you. Reform, rebuild, and reconstruct. Everything I do will be for you. Stephane Devalier, conservative mayor, what do you think Mayor Adams would have done if Kamala Harris was elected president? Treasurer Akili, Democratic mayor, the world is laughing at New York. Crime, housing, education, economy. Not on my watch, he said. Elijah Diaz, campaign manager for Darren Aquino, Republican mayor, thanked his, and I'll turn this to Sorry about this, folks. It's my first time doing this. I've never done this before.
Doing great.
So whoever I said before, because I'm not going back to that last page, you'll remember his name. He thanked his candidate for giving him 22-year-old Latino from Flatbush the opportunity to recruit young Democrats and Republicans and to help him give them a voice. Tabitha Ward, independent mayor. My policies will include immigration, budget, taxes, and revenue, jobs and education, infrastructure, law enforcement, crime prevention, for making New York City of Americans instead of city of immigrants. David Rem, Republican mayor, participated in over 100 rallies in the last 8 years, especially those against specialized high schools. Supporter of border control, merit-based education, and bringing crime under control. He is seeking President-elect Trump's endorsement. George Stein, Republican, Queensborough president, runs a parade in Bayside that drew a crowd of 10,000 people. He stated that the Board of Education has one of the largest criminal operations through its school construction authority, which builds schools not where students live. He emphasized the need to work with political organizations, including Democratic ones. Joe Alney, Republican mayor, he proposed dividing the city into Republicans' Democratic districts, each having its own leaders and policies. Javon Terrell Ross, independent mayor, he asked, what is it that you need? He believes everyone needs respect in love, reform in love, and restore in love. He ended, I don't want your dollars, I am not here for your vote. In the question and answer part, Brendan Castro asked the candidates how they're going to address name recognition, fundraising, and manpower, an advantage that incumbents have. Jonathan Rinaldi asked the candidates about their support of the City of Yes in congestion crisis. Stan Norwalk asked their position on DEI. William Horowitz asked the mayoral candidates whether the MTA appointees should be users of the transit system as a prerequisite. Kevin O'Leary asked, do you want more cops on the street? If so, how would you fund it? Jerry Lally asked a show of hands on COVID lockdown and vaccine mandates. Martha Rowan followed up asking candidate views on limiting the use of government's emergency power and trusting the authority of the WHO. The winner of the 50-50 raffle was George Stein. Took home 2 20s, $40. The meeting ended at 9:33. The next meeting is tonight. And I don't know if I should be reading this part because basically we're here. Have a good night.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's see, moving on. Next, we have the financial report of Tomaszewski.
Hey, good evening.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. I guess, are there any corrections or modifications to the minutes? Thanks, Anton. Yes, Anton.
On the attendance part earlier, some board members came in late and they'll get marked absent from the next minutes.
Okay. Well, it's going to be tough, but we'll soon make a note of it. Thanks.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as given.
Okay, there's a motion to accept the minutes as adopted. To have a second? Yeah. Okay, the second by Regina. All in favor, any opposition? Okay, all in favor said aye? Aye. Okay. Okay, the motion be adopted. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks, Anton.
Thank you. Our current balance is $4,622.51. That's all. We're asking always people buy the raffle tickets, join the club, Republican Club, and become a member. That's how we can pay the rent, everything once a month. And Washington, D.C. Very soon we have to go, 20. That's all I think that we should discuss also. Between each other, who is going, how to go, help each other. Thank you. That's all. $4,622.51. That's the current balance.
Thank you very much. Yes, Anton, I have a question.
I brought a check in today to pay for the annual membership. Is it January we start, and would you repay, or how's it work?
Anytime. Any memberships that have paid starting October 1st of last year is good until end of December 31st of this year. Yes, question from George Stein.
So since I was gracious enough to take my winnings of the last 50/50 and redeposit them with the original, thank you so much for giving it to me. In my,
We'll apply that towards your membership, so you don't have to worry about it.
he knows me before I open my mouth. This is a sign of a great friendship. I love you, brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks, George. Any other questions before we move to the announcement section? Okay, let me go to the announcement sections. Let's see, as you all know, in 4 days is the presidential inauguration. How many of you are going down to the inauguration? Because I asked some of the people who are going down there, please come to the meeting. Anyway, so we have Eric is going down. Anyone else here tonight that's going down? Also Kamiesh and Elżbieta. Elżbieta also going down as well? Anybody else going down? Okay, so anyway, we just want to thank you very much. We want to wish you basically a wonderful time down there. Okay, just enjoy the trip. So we want to thank these people who are going down there. And George Stein, yes.
As a member, oh God, how many of them, of the Northeast Queens Republican Club, I'd like to invite each and every one of you to join us at El-Gamasy on 12 noon that day. We have about 15 people from our organization, other groups are going, and it's all about luck. Where is it? Pacheco is on 251st Street, Northern Boulevard, in Middle Nice, New York, just before the city hall.
So
$25 for a great meal.
I have nothing else to say.
okay, so again, that's on January 20th, 12 o'clock.
I'm gonna be there 11 o'clock for parking, but you can take the 12 bus out there, or you can take the Long Island Railroad to Little Neck, and it's about a 10-minute walk.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements before we get to my announcements? Okay, now, as some of you may know, one of our board member was incarcerated because of his January 6th activities. We do expect pardon to be given to him. So we're having several groups of people who are going to welcome them when they are pardoned. Most likely it'll be January 21st, but it's a matter of the paperwork. So if anyone interested, we have one group that's going down to Fort Dix, New Jersey. That's going to be for Phil Grillo. We have another group.
He's not there anymore. He's in Philly now.
No, he's now in Fort Dix as of yesterday, according to Samantha. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We also have another group that's going down to the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center for Mrs. Semsel. So if anyone is interested in welcome these people when they leave the jail after the pardon, just let me know and I'll connect you with the people that are going to be organizing these two locations. Okay, so continuing, let's see. Mr. Lee is not here. Okay, let's see. Next item, let's see. An issue which we have been following is the non-citizen voting. Even though it's been voted down in both the Supreme Court as well as the Appellate Court, It is going to be argued by Mayor Adams for obviously overturning the court case on February 11th. When we meet next time on February 20th, they will have the hearing. I don't think they're going to make the decision that quick, so we won't know what the decision will be. But we'll certainly keep you up to date, okay? Next item, let's see, on congestion pricing, okay? Congestion pricing is obviously something we're very much against. The MTA is obviously giving you their side of the story while you, the citizen, is getting another side and no one is really telling a lot of your stories. So we'll be collecting that information and follow up. Also, Donald Umuma. Donald Umuma wanted to say something. He is the campaign manager for Bashek Grimes. You want to say something quickly?
Yes. It is a great honor to be here. Thank you so much to everyone. Now, this one isn't scripted. I'm just reading some of the points I wanted to make. Now, in this election especially, we need public advocates above all else. Not politicians, public advocates. Because right now we are so divided. Now, once again, I want to shout out Mr. Bashek Grimes. Great gentleman, very qualified. He has my vote most certainly for Queensborough presidency. Also, I was also told there was a contest for the youngest. I'm 19 as well. But yeah. So, thank you. Sorry.
So just to add on to young Darrell here is a phenomenal young man, a recent high school graduate, a current college student, and my campaign manager at 19 years old. Donald was helping me to obtain more engagement with voters, especially in his demographic for young voters, and helping me to encourage people to get out and vote.
Yes, and I personally believe, I don't believe in the masses, I believe in individuals, and each individual has unique skills, talents, unique problems. And right now, each individual is unique because they have the beautiful power of voting for their representatives. Thank you.
Next announcement, Healy. Healy has an announcement of his activism at the National Action Network.
Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate it. Yeah. All right, folks. What's up? Nice to see y'all. Just so you know, I actually work with all the different groups: Democrats, Independents, from Greensville, Libertarians. Now I'm actually registered Republican because honestly, this group is actually, even third parties. I really like what the Republicans stand for. I know there's like a lot of infighting going on, but you guys have a lot of integrity that a lot of other groups are lacking. Okay. Now, right now, just so you know, we're actually, we have a brand new administration taking hold. Trump, hell yeah. All right. That's right. Congratulations, folks. We won. Yeah. And just so you know, Sharpton's actually planning a protest of Trump on election day because you know what these Democrats do? And sorry, I'm not including Bashek in this, right? I think he's a cool guy, but the Democrats, instead of helping us, they want to just protest Trump all the time. You know how they do it. So actually, we can cut, the legs off of that protest before it actually happens because honestly, we know that Al Sharpton, right? And I'm not saying he's all bad, but he's been playing a little bit too much games with Puff Daddy and this kind of like other elites, right? So right now, actually, I am actually bringing the victims. You'll see that I actually protested DEI right in front of the press did not cover this. But when I was protesting DEI, Al Sharpton said, you know what, he's one of us, pointing to me. You know why? Because I helped all the poor people in his organization while he's busy helping the millionaires. It is what it is. At least he gives me access to DSA and PSL. They drag me out by the throat. We have actually Muti Ojama Saber, one of the longest wrongfully incarcerated men in United States history, with a direct tie to Mumia Abu Jamal, who actually prevented, Josh Shapiro from being Kamala's VP pick. If you want to find out more, I can send you some information on that. We got someone from public housing. We got Brandon Castro, I saw him earlier, yeah. He should be speaking, right, yeah, as to speak to the student body, right? A lot of students are actually, all the student activism run by PSL DSA is all about funding CUNY, which is just going to pay for corrupt administrators. So if you guys could join us, that's going to be on Saturday, January 18th at 9 a.m. This Saturday, there's going to be a whole bunch of press there. All the establishment candidates are going to be there. Brad Pander and all these other groups that you know that is not taking care of you. Just so you know, I just want to also mention one more thing. Just so you know, we're also organizing the students, this Tuesday, I think, coming Tuesday, is gonna be the first day of classes at NYU in Columbia. And the Democrats be whooping our ass when it comes time to recruiting students. But students are sick of the hypocrisy. We know that, the most minorities in United States history voted for Donald Trump. We know that, what's her name, Linda McMahon's about to take over for the Department of Education, and we can clean up this diseased mess that is our educational system. I am a victim of the educational system, as are many others, and we hope that you guys could be a part of that. Also, we're organizing a back-to-school, intercollegiate party to get them involved, and we're trying to get a meeting with the chancellor and the 100 college presidents of CUNY to confront the bullshit that's going on. So thanks again, once again, this Saturday, I'll have some cards I can give out. I'll pass this flyer around. Once again, not saying all Sharpton's all bad, but we have a new opportunity, right, to the people all in his group, because I'm there on a regular basis. They know that Al Sharpton's not taking care of them. We can convert a whole new, we need to flip this town red, because this town has been controlled by the blue side too long. So help me to take over and to convert. I swear so many people from National Action Network are ready to flip and go Republicans because they're sick of the bullshit, and you all know it's true. Thank you.
Okay, before we get to the candidates, anyone want to say something, or do you have any announcements? Okay, Ruben?
Good evening, everyone. For all the candidates that are going to come up here to the table today, when you speak, we are live. I am going to recommend that you take the blue spot here in front of the American flag. It has a blue outline also, so you know where to stand. This way I can shoot you in the best possible light. So again, where I'm standing right now, candidates, is where I recommend that you come up and give your stump speech. Thank you.
Shut up.
Okay.
No, we don't have to talk like that.
Okay. All right, so now I guess if there's no other announcement, can I have the candidates come up to the front of the table, please? Okay. Let's see. Henry Ikezi, Bashek Grimes, Erwin Roque, Alexander Caruso, Shah Ricardo Pacheco, Ramses Frias, Supreet McGrath, Jonathan Rinaldi, Jeffrey Horowitz, Hatem El-Gamasy. Any table, any seat you like, any seat you like. And after that, I'm going to pass the meeting over to Jim Stallhorn. He's going to be emceeing the meeting.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, we need just a minute or so to get all of the candidates up here.
Okay, guys, just a little heads up. I'm the chairman of Arms, James Schwartzman, and I'm in charge of the order of the meeting. So, because there's 8 of you, we're going to give you 4 minutes to speak. You're going to get a warning at 3 minutes. I'm going to hold up, what is it, the yellow flag, the green flag, and then I have a red flag. I don't want to hold up the red flag. Everyone speaks and stops at 4 minutes. It would have been 3 minutes if we had everybody here. That was 12. But we only have the 8 speakers here, so be respectful. We're stopping you not for anything other than you have 4 minutes, and it stops at 4. There'll be questions. Also, there might be questions, there might be one-word questions, candidates, by people from the Medical Freedom Alliance. It might be about the vaccine. It'll be a yes or no answer. That is not your time to sit back and tell me what you feel. Either say yes, no, or I have no comment. Because some people are just tired. They don't want to hear your answers, yes or no. So there might be a question about the vaccine. It'll be yes, no. And I don't want to hear what you think of what. You can talk to us later. If we stop you, we're beautiful people here. We would love to talk to you after the meeting. The cookies are good. So get to know us. Give us eye contact there. If we stop you, it is not personal. It is there because we have to keep the meeting going. Okay? Last time I've been a bad boy. I haven't been watching. We had a little crosstalk. No more crosstalk. This is about beautiful love stuff, hippie stuff, you know.
We want to give everybody within their time.
That's right. So, but there's some of us that just want one-word answers, and that's afterwards. Okay. All right, I'm done.
Is that
Okay, so how
Paul?
about giving, I think, as far as the order of candidates goes, we can just go straight down the table and take it as a given that you have self-selected the order. So, yes, how about, the first, everybody's clear on the timing now?
You got the time, I'll give you a warning. I'll hold the yellow flag at 3:15. Just finish my.
Sir?
Everybody's got a question.
Can you hold any questions to these candidates after they all speak?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They all speak, and then we try to have a Q&A.
There'll be questions asked.
Yeah, yeah.
We just want to keep it on, no crosstalk. If someone has a question here, I want to try something to it. Address it to Jim before you address it to the candidates. So we keep a decorum of what's going on. So look at Jim with the question, and then you can look at the candidate. No crosstalk or attacking. We don't attack here. All right, I'm done.
Okay, so it's gonna be yellow and then yellow and then red, right?
Red.
Yellow and then red, okay. And so, and no questions until after everybody's spoken. So, you're the first one to get a microphone. And now, I want each candidate to say very clearly your name and what you're running for. At the beginning and at the end of each speech, okay? Name recognition, remember, that's one of the most important things. So, would everybody please give, and I want to, let's get some enthusiasm here. Would everybody please give a big welcome to Bashek, I don't know if I pronounced that right? Bashek, okay, Bashek Grimes. He's gonna say okay. You got it? It's yours.
All right. I would like to first to say my name, Bashek J. Grimes, and I'm running for Queens Borough President, 2025. I would like to take the moment to thank our guests, the people invited us here. I'd like to thank the club, everybody who came to participate. I'd like to thank my campaign manager, Donald Anuma, for all his support. So now, we have some very serious matters here that we need to discuss. I'm a long-time New York resident. I've lived in Queens for a very long time. I'm a product of New York City public school systems. I'm also a DOE public school teacher. I have 2 degrees in education. I have a master's degree in education and a master's degree in special education. I've taught special education in New York City for 3 years. I've also been a licensed real estate salesperson for about 8 years. I have a license in life insurance, and I was a licensed notary public. I've also traveled the entire country. I have a CDL Class A license where I did deliveries. So I have personal experience in watching how communities operate. And not only with my personal experience, I also went to school to study politics. I have an associate's degree in paralegal studies. I have a bachelor's degree in law and society from John Jay College of Criminal Justice. That entire major is based on how society affects laws and how laws affect society. Meaning, we are the people. So the laws are meant to serve us. There are outdated laws that no longer serve us. So it's our responsibility to update the laws that's going to help us as we are today. So laws are made to help society. So laws are not really made to control society. It's made to facilitate societal exchanges. Meaning that these laws are to make sure that all people can interact with each other regardless of any outside circumstances, and that each one is treated equally, fairly, and respectfully. So it's our job to vote in legislators who are going to make sure that these laws continue to be effective ongoing for ongoing generations and for this current situation that we have here. I studied international politics at St. John's University for 1 year, where I learned how the world political realm works. I've also worked for about 15 candidates since the year 2000, and I've held every role in the campaign except candidate. So what you see here is years of refined skills, ambition, and passion. And also not afraid to have unique ideas. So my role as Queens Borough President, as we see here, that's the position I'm running for, would be so that I can modernize Queens. I think our current incumbent Queensborough president is doing a wonderful job. So I'm not here to necessarily diminish anyone else's role. I'm just here to say that I have a vision for Queens that's going to take Queens and make it the world's borough again. The most diverse borough in the world. We will be the world's borough again. We will have world fairs again. The whole world will continue to come back to Queens, and then we're going to show them why Queens is so great and what type of people Queens produces. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Again, your name? And
My name is Bashek J. Grimes, and I'm running for Queensborough president on a Democratic ticket. However, there's no separation. We're all humans, regardless to any parties or anything else.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a very good, coherent speech. Very good. Okay, next, Alexander Caruso, City Council 19, and say it again, please.
My name is Alexander Caruso, running for City Council District 19. So I realized I had more time than I initially thought in my speech. So a little about myself. I am a local substitute teacher for social studies. I have been in the classroom for the last 25 years. I am, keep in mind, I'm also 25, going on 26, but in one form or another, as a student, as a teacher, as a college student learning to be a teacher, you know, and I went to Queens College for those reasons, to get my BA and to get my master's, and I'm working on my second master's now. So the reason why I got into politics is the same reason why I became a teacher. Okay, it is for our students, it's for our children, it's for our grandkids. If we are not building a society for them, I ask you, what is the frickin' point of anything? I don't understand. You know, like, that's why I became a teacher and that's why I'm running. You know, looking at the macro level of the state of things, you know, with Donald Trump entering his second term, you know, congratulations to him. And, you know, yep, sure. You know, I am in a way glad that Kamala Harris did not win, in the respect that I think the Democratic Party needs to adjust themselves. They're in an identity crisis, and, you know, for better or for worse. And it's honestly why I'm running as such a young man. The party in our government needs to get new and fresh people and ideas, as all these people have presented, as my friend over there was running himself as a young man, a fellow Queens College alumni over here, my good friend. You know, something, and I just want to be honest with you, you know, part of why, another part of why I'm running is, unlike Harris, or even Donald Trump, who took large amounts of money from, well, in the Harris's case, let's say someone like Oprah, you know, all of us here at this, who's running for a city position, are relying on the matching funds program, where every dollar collected from New York residents is matched 8 to 1, depending on your race. Okay, I've been door knocking for the last 3 months. I've probably knocked over 1,000 doors and gotten about, thank you, by myself. I've driven in my mother's Mercedes for the last 3 months across Northeast Queens by myself, like an Uber driver, and have collected over $5,000 by grassroots efforts from fellow New Yorkers such as yourselves. Okay, the minimum was $20. I collected $20 from like everyone. If they were nice to me, they gave me $175. That's the most I'd ever asked of anyone. Okay, even my own mother. You know, and you know, that's what I think we need in politics today. We need to get rid of dark money at the top level. I hope, you know, at the state, I mean, we have at the state level, but I hope President Trump sees this, the success of the matching funds program, and helps get it at the federal level to make honest politicians honest, and that's what I am, okay? I just want to run on good ideas, such as fully funding our education system, revitalizing the MTA, and ending the housing crisis. Okay, thank you. And my name is Alexander Caruso. I'm running for City Council in District 19.
Thank you.
Oh, he just came in, so.
We're gonna come back to you. Next, Hatem El-Gamasy. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us what you're running, your name and what you're running for.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here tonight. My name is Hatem El-Gamasy. I'm Egyptian American. I'm an immigrant. I'm a husband. I'm a proud father of 2 adorable kids. And I'm running for City Council District 45 in Brooklyn. I am running as independent for one reason. My district is 80% registered Democrats, and I want the issues that matter to us in the district to be at the core of my campaign. I don't want politics as usual to play any role on my campaign. I am also a former small business owner. I used to own a bodega or a corner store in Ridgewood in Queens for 5 years, which taught me a lot about community. And I hold a master's degree in international relations from Seton Hall University in New Jersey. I'm running as independent because I want to reach to everyone, and I want the issues that matter to us to be at the core of my campaign. And it's a known fact, New York City have been dominated by one-party rule for so long. And what one-party rule created? Corruption, inefficient, and inflated government. While hard-working families are still struggling, affordability is just, we talk about it, but it's not available, and they keep making our life harder by fining us and ticketing us left and right. They want to solve every problem in our city by issuing a ticket, which end up the hard-working people are carrying the burden. So that's why I represent everybody of you. I'm a hard-working guy. I'm not a politician, and I don't want to be one. Democrats have been so comfortable in their position because they know even Republicans gave up on voting. Many Republicans do not even go vote for the presidential election because they feel it's a done deal. Why should I go bother? It's a done deal for the Democrats. This needs to change. We, the people, still hold the power. And we can put the brakes on these comfortable politicians who keep getting re-elected, and our life gets harder and harder every day. I'm not gonna waste your time. I run in District 45 in Brooklyn, and I urge every one of you, if you know anyone in Brooklyn, reach out with them and tell them to support my campaign. I'm confident, and I'm fired up, and I will never give up till I fight. It's a time to get our city back, one neighborhood at a time. And I appreciate giving me the opportunity to be with you tonight. Thank you. Once again, my name is Hatem El-Gamasy. I'm running as an independent for City Council in District 45 in Brooklyn. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Very impassioned. So, now you're Ramses?
Ramses Frias.
Ramses?
Ramses Frias.
Ramses Frias. Okay, and you're running as what party?
Republican Party.
Okay, for?
City Council District 25.
Take it away, Ramses.
Thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of you. Now, I'm running for City Council District 25, Jackson Heights, Elmhurst. This is an area that is highly troubled. We have Roosevelt Avenue, which is all over the news. Everybody hears about it, everybody knows about it. And that's where I've been doing my fight. For years, I've been documenting the issues that have happened here when it grew because of the migrant influx. We had an uptick in violent crime, prostitution, and just major quality of life issues that need to be focused on. And all the elected officials that we have there right now just turn their backs on everyone there. The residents are frustrated, they're tired, and they need somebody that can speak for them and raise their voice. And I've been doing that for them. I've been a pain in their side for the past 2 to 3 years, giving them the business, letting them know that we are frustrated, we are tired, and we are coming back. And we're gonna rebuild Jackson Heights and Elmhurst. Now, with your assistance and with all of you on this journey with me, all of these things are possible. The future can be better for the residents of that area. We have a large retirement community there. My friends' families are still there, grandparents. This is their time to relax, and they need the respect, and they need the space, and they need the safety of getting around to their doctor visits, to see, just to do their daily activities. Our children going to school, they should not have to be in front of walking past prostitutes, soliciting 24 hours a day. Going to school, they see them. Walking out of school, they see them. This is not how our society is going to function. And I'm going to make sure that once I'm in that seat, I'm going to fix that. I will be there every single day out in those streets as I am today, as I am every single day. We had the very first toy drive ever on 90th Street, Elmhurst Avenue, Roosevelt, all right? That was with the help of the New York Young Republican Club Hispanic Caucus. The Queens Caucus also joined. All came together to give back to a community that has never seen anyone give them anything. Everybody was so proud, happy, just to see that. I'm part of the Let's Improve Roosevelt Ave coalition here with Ricard Pacheco also involved. Bipartisan group got together and got the very first Christmas tree to ever go up in the triangle, 90th Street, Elmhurst Avenue. We're proud of that.
Beautiful. It's
beautiful. People saw that Christmas tree lighting, they came out. We had toys, we had everything for them. We had music, we had little kids playing mariachi music. And it was like one of the best things that's ever happened in the neighborhood that I grew up, my whole life. And never saw one person give back to us that way. Never saw one person ever say, you know what, this is for you. They just leave us behind. So again, I ask each and every one of you to help me bring order back to Jackson Heights and Elmhurst. Help me get into that seat. And I will make each and every one of you proud to say that you saw me speak here today and that you were a part of this. Thank you again. My name is Ramses Frias. I'm running for City Council District 25. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Ramses.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I happen to live in Jackson Heights, so Ramses, you're going to be hearing from me. All right? Okay, next. Supreet McGrath. Hope I said that right. Everybody, and you're going to say your name, your affiliation, and what you're running for, right? Okay, everybody, please give a big welcome to Supreet.
My name is Supreet McGrath. I am running for City Council in District 29. I am on the fence, quite honestly, about which Republican or Democrat or Independent. The reality is I think that my philosophies are going to stay the same, but it's going to come down to how do we actually win the election and get the incumbent out. So from the very beginning, I am not a politician. I have never run for office before. I am a parent, I'm a spouse, I'm an employee with a day job, I'm a homeowner in this district. And why am I here? Why am I running for the first time in my life? Well, it's because I saw city agencies at max inefficiency over the last couple of years. Since I bought my home, I've just, it's been egregious. So 2 years ago, this was the catalyst for me. I set out to do work on my home. What ensued was a full year of permits, applications, a nightmare of red tape, penalties, fines for laws I didn't even know I was breaking. I went to my local council person's office. I asked for help navigating the maze, removing penalties, something to help me get out of the mess. I got nothing but the same bureaucratic response. Somebody who was actually just becoming a voice for the city agencies, not my voice. So what is the point of a politician who's not here to actually represent my needs? And just, you know, anybody who's here, like a homeowner, a local business owner, you're here, you're trying to improve your community, you're trying to improve your own life, and the city is the one standing in the way. Meanwhile, congestion pricing, those cameras went up seemingly overnight. I didn't sign off on that. No one asked any of us where our tax dollars were going there. So right then and there, I was like, something's got to change. This is insanity. This is unfair. So for me, as of right now, I'm still sort of building my campaign. As I mentioned, I'm new to all of this. Two things that have stood out to me over time now is over-regulation. I think we've got way too much regulation on us. It doesn't apply to the people at the top, the upper layers, just us. So to me, that, like, I just, there's no common sense to it. I think we need to get back to a stage of common sense regulation. I think we need to be questioning those people. I was looking at, I mean, I hate to throw dirt here, but I was looking at Lynn Shulman's newsletter today, and it was unveiled a sign, had breakfast with people, spoke at an assembly, and I'm like, but did you do anything for us? No, I didn't see anything like that. So that's one aspect that I think is really important. Second aspect that I find very, very important is transparency in spending and efficiency in spending. So I was looking at also, District 29 got $10 million last year. I was like, where did this $10 million go? Nothing in my life changed. $5 million went to a culinary kitchen in Richmond Hill High School. Great. Love spending on kids, love investing in the future. Is anyone questioning that $5 million amount though? $5 million, one kitchen, one school. I don't know where those dollars are going. I don't know how nice that kitchen is. But I can tell you, I don't know where those dollars are going, but I know where they're coming from, and it's my paycheck, it's your paycheck, and it's all of the money that is coming out of us that we just don't know where it's going, and whose pockets we're lining, really, with our money. So for me, transparency, over-regulation, those are two really key factors for me. And so I'm here to disrupt that cycle. Once again, my name is Supreet McGrath, and I'm going for District 29.
Thank you very much, Supreet. You came in last and moving right along, we have Ricardo Pacheco. Ricardo, when it comes time to say affiliation, you can say it. Everybody, please give a big welcome to Ricardo Pacheco.
Thank you, Jim. And thanks, Danny and everyone for inviting me here. My name is Ricardo Pacheco, and I'm running for City Council District 25. My opponent here, a good friend of mine, Ramses Frias, and like he pointed out, you know, we've been working together in a lot of different projects and stuff. Well, to me, in order for you to understand where I'm going and why I'm running, I think maybe we should talk a little bit about where I've been. I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, retired. I was a former Marine, a retired police officer, and I've dedicated most of my last 9 years since I retired. I've been doing community work. I was PTA president. I was president of the Jackson Co-ops Alliance. I was president of the Seniors Advisory Board for Self-Help NORC. I'm part of the school leadership. I do a lot of work with food pantries, and I volunteer with a group here. In fact, tomorrow we're doing a distribution on Roosevelt Avenue and 78th. I also done a lot of things in my co-op. I was co-op president for 7 years, where I began doing coat drives, toy drives, turkey drives, dinners and things to bring together our seniors and our children in local schools. And so all these I've been doing, never thinking that I will run for office. But then, you know, all of a sudden pandemic comes in and our local electors are really not paying attention to us. You know, we try to go to them and they like ignore us. I think that works for them. If you call, you email, and you even see them in public, they just ignore you. And if they ignore you enough, you just go away. Well, I'm not going away. And so my point here is that, you know, I feel that a lot of the things that we need to fight for, whether with Democrats or Republicans or any other party, it's that we have the same issues, the same concerns. You know, we want to be able to feel safe on our home, on our streets, on our buses, on our train, especially on our subways lately. We have this congestion pricing that it was just thrown at us. Nobody asked us, nobody really cared what we had to say. I went to a few of the hearings that they had, which is our fake stuff. They just put their people to speak and et cetera, et cetera. So the main point here is that nobody's listening to us. And that's because, as one of the young lady here said, you know, it's just, the upper echelon is the one that they care for. They don't want, all they want from us is our tax dollars. And then they want to spend them any which way they want. In our neighborhood, in Jackson Heights, we have the 34th Avenue open street. It's 26 blocks. And that is 24/7. And the barriers and the big concrete boulders, and it looks like a war zone. And it's speeding mopeds and people getting hurt. And nobody cares. And that's how I got involved into this politic world. When I went to our city council person, and then he basically said to me, you know, if I were to change anything, because we asked to change the hours, he says, well, if I change that, I will be ignoring them. And I said, well, who is them? I thought it was us. But regardless of everything else, I'm running because I have the same concerns. I am a Democrat, but I am not a leftist. Believe me when I tell you, I'm middle of the road. You know, everything that I do for everyone. And win or lose, I will still be with the community. I'll still be working hard, but better believe that we're going to work very hard to get the city councilman that's now ignoring us. And he could go home and ignore us all he wants, but he won't have that title. Thank you, and thank you for everything. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. Ricardo used the D word there, but he likes to come to our meetings, so I think there is hope for him. Okay? Okay. Oh, wow, you just got a reprieve here. Okay. Next, Jeffrey Horowitz came in a little bit late, but please come on over. I don't know, I guess you know by now, everybody's going to, you're going to say your name, your party affiliation, and what you're running for. Okay?
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Horowitz. I'm running in District 51. I'm running as a Democrat. I'm one of the youngest candidates running. As you can see, I'm only 19, but I've seen corruption, like Kathy Oval, with her congestion pricing, which should never have happened, by the way, and I want to work to stop that. She, and I'm saying a quiet part out loud, fucking failed us. I'm sorry to curse, but she did. We need to get rid of that congestion pricing, and we will fire her next year. I'm also running for a few different reasons as well. We have a lot of people in my district who are complaining about the corruption right now in city government, that they're working for them, but not for us. So that's why I'm running.
Your name again?
My name is Jeffrey Horowitz, and I'm running for City Council District 51.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
Jonathan Rinaldi, oh my goodness! That's right, he's drunk.
that's right. Okay, Jonathan, name, party, and what you're running for. Please welcome Jonathan Rinaldi.
My name is Jonathan Rinaldi. I'm a Republican in New York City, and I'm running for City Council in District 30. Yes, you heard that right, District 30. Why? Because Bob Holden is a Democrat and he's senile. Go try to have a conversation with him. And nepotism, it is very true, and you should go and talk to him and you'll see what he says. And nepotism is a big problem. He cannot select somebody that works in his office, some no-neck troll who can't even walk down the street and campaign just because he selected her. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make her spend every last bit of that campaign money to come and fight against me. Because just like in the immortal words of one of our board members, you are not a candidate until you get on the ballot. And you all have to remember that. Because getting signatures and getting legitimate signatures at the door, I will be watching all of your petitions, so make sure that you get them correctly. Now the issue is that we had an immigration situation that happened a while ago. We were flooded by foreign nationals who were given all of our social services. And then the mayor and all of the elected officials decided to come up with a plan called the City of Yes, which was to give social services to the illegal aliens and then forcing the infrastructure upgrades on all of the homeowners because of Local Law 97, which is a energy standard. They want all of us to be carbon neutral by 2035. All of us have to have electric vehicles. And Donovan Richards and the rest of them made it so that everybody that struggles and is a homeowner and had apartments for rent, now the city's got their hands in all of those illegal apartments, which we're all gonna have to pay extra money, extra taxes, and extra and extra and extra. And then on top of that, Lyft, City Bike, Safe Streets, all the PACs, all the special interest groups who donate to city council, they're the ones that really write and make policy for everything that's going on in the city. The MTA is a public organization. It is not public. So Kathy Hochul decides to put congestion pricing, which is a crime. Congestion pricing is a crime. It's making, again, the cost of infrastructure, the cost of everything on the taxpayer, on the homeowner. And that's really what the issue is. We have elected officials who are funded by special interests, who are funded and write policy that has nothing to do with our interests. Now, I don't need support of the party. I will never get the support of the party. I will get on the ballot legitimately at the door. Try to challenge me if you will. You will never knock me off the ballot. And I will get on the ballot specifically because the Republican Party is the party of the people. It always has been. It's the party that was formed to go against slavery. And with Cloward and Piven, which is the plan that they're trying to do to us, so that they can turn us socialist by overloading the welfare system and crashing the economy, which is what they're trying to do, and I won't stand for it. And I'm not going to make deals with anybody, and I'm only here to make sure that I represent the interests of each and every one of us, and I will never capitulate. I will never make deals. I will never do anything except stand for us in every way, shape, or form, and I will fight to the death, and I will never allow anybody to walk all over us, because I believe in family, I believe in home ownership, and I believe in our cars. Okay? And that's my spiel. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Henry. Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Henry.
Well, once again, Jonathan, name, party affiliation,
Jonathan Rinaldi, running for City Council in District 30.
This is it from now. Okay, and I'm going to just came in late, Henry Ikezi, right? Yes, sir. Okay, please come on and come over by the flag. Everybody else is doing it. Where's the cameraman? Cameraman, where'd you go? Please, we have a cameraman here. Anyway, please give us your name, your party affiliation, what you're running for, and then say what you want to say what you want to say. Please give a big welcome to Henry.
Thank you all very much. A very good evening to you all. And I apologize for being a bit late. We had another speaking engagement that ran late and hence pushed me back a little bit. But I'm glad to be here. So my name is Henry Ikezi. Everybody calls me Henry Ike. And I'm running to be the loudest voice for the people of Queens as the next Queens Borough president. Donovan Richards got to go. And we need a bold, new leader that can tackle the changes we face today in Queens. My message is very simple. We need safer streets, affordable housing, and better education system. And at the rate we're going with the education, our kids will never be able to compete. We need fundamental changes. We need it now more than ever before. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's everybody, right? Everybody has spoken. Okay. Now.
We might have one more. You want to speak? I'm not official yet. Doesn't matter. Okay. We have John Healy is running in the 25th City Council District. 26. 26 City Council.
All right, John.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you all. Thank you for the introduction.
My name is John Healy. I am the club president at Sunnyside GOP Club. I've been here before and I've spoken at gotten to know a lot of you over the last several months. It's been an honor. I've recently been looking for a candidate to run in our district. District 26, I see it's going uncontested with an incumbent Democrat who's not active and has neglected most of the district, specifically the northeastern and northwestern parts of the district.
What's the name of that candidate?
Julie Wan. City of Yes is a big factor there because it covers Long Island City where there's been overdevelopment. And it's true, it is really just really corruption. They're saying it's about affordable housing. The truth is that it's really going to increase the cost of housing. If you look at all the proposals going in the City of Yes, and the council really, that's right now overwhelmingly majority Democrat. I believe it's 45-6 Democrats to Republicans. We don't have a voice in there, and we don't have someone who's willing to speak up. And Julie Wan is under the thumb of the real estate and also the landlords. The housing committee is overwhelmingly Democrat. City of Yes is going to destroy our neighborhoods, the character of our neighborhoods, and also increase the cost of living. There's another problem that we have that's going on right now all across the city. We know it's not just the migrant shelters, but there are a number of them are up in that neighborhood, and the businesses are suffering terribly. It's heartbreaking to see some of these business owners are just, middle-class people like you and I. Some of them even, I know, complaining about, it runs one gentleman I know, I worked at the Department of Health before in Long Island City, and it was sad. He was like in tears. People are coming in, robbing the place, and then selling his products like a block or two down, and the cops do nothing. They were going into CVS. I witnessed this. They came out. A guy just walked in, case of beers, just loaded them up, put them in a bag, walk out. I seen the manager tell the cops, and the cops say, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. The guy's like, look, you took it. That's not our bag. There's no receipt. Ask him for it. The cop's like, I can't do anything about it. This is ridiculous, and no one's doing anything about it. Julie Wan doesn't do anything about it because it goes against her party, and she can't stand up to them. So somebody needs a voice, and someone needs to step up. We can't let this go on, and that's what I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you. Your name?
John Patrick Healy, President of the 26th District.
For City Council?
For City Council.
Okay. Thank you, John. What you just talked about raises something that is really, really important, and that is that some of these problems that we have are created at the city level, some are created at the state level by the state legislature. One thing that a lot of us think when we hear about things that are done in Albany, we think, oh, that's those people up there, up north of us. It's not. Albany, the representation in the state legislature is dominated by the big cities, New York, Buffalo, whatever others. But when people talk about Albany, they're really talking about New York City. It's the representatives from New York City who go up there and make these absurd laws. Okay. Questions? I'm not ready for questions yet. Okay. I'll let you know in just a minute. My thought was that we would have a lot of candidates, each one would speak, and then we'd have very little time for questions. We have more time for questions than I thought we were going to have. Daniel, how many things do we have to do after this? We're going to do the 50-50 raffle. Anything else?
That's basically it.
So we need to allow about 5 to 10 minutes after this for that, right? Okay. So we have time for some real questions. Does anybody have any questions that could be addressed to all the candidates? Where you could ask them to just go right down the line. Okay, your hand was up first, Green.
I was shocked and very disappointed that one candidate said, we have a serious health crisis going on in Queens County. How many of you have gone to an emergency room in the last 5 years? They built the stadium over in City Field area, saying that this is going to help our tax base. But if we put a full-time academic campus of medical, we would raise more money. The other issue I was surprised nobody talked about, I take a bus, I take a train. Guys, if you want to win your elections, these are two issues you got to put right on the table, because everybody has a medical issue. Everybody takes a bus. I have to compliment Mr. Pacheco, I apologize. He came out and said, these are things I took my own initiative. That's great. That's what you're supposed to do as a politician. You just do your job. I would like all the candidates to say, number one, what is your standing on improving healthcare in Queens County? Number two, what is your, we could have a ferry at LaGuardia Airport, amongst other places.
Okay, we could go on for a long time on any of those things. I'm gonna, you want me to come?
He's got a mic already.
That's a good question right there. Yeah, sorry?
He already has the mic.
Okay, so you
Healthcare
can,
and MTA, what is your position on how to improve this?
That's a very long answer.
yeah, I mean, that could go on for a while. If you ask me that, I would
Hey, look,
talk for,
you criticize me for telling people to be respectful to the people that are seeing this event. and now you-
George, it's fine, George. It's
I
fine,
gotta go
George.
to the bathroom, I'm sick.
George, it's fine. Okay.
George, no, just pick one.
Take it away. Okay, he has a very good point, especially with the MCA, because we saw now, I mean, I worked out by City Hall, I work Department of Buildings, by the way, but don't hold that against me, I do revenue analyst, so I'm not an inspector. I noticed last week, and it's going on till now, my commute time is 20% longer than it has been. And it's true, we do need, and no one is talking about this, it's ridiculous when you see the governor live on TV saying how the subways are safe while a woman was getting burned to death. We had a migrant that came in that was fanning the flames, watched it. The cops watched it happen. Nobody stood in, nobody stepped up, nobody stood up and tried to save that woman's life. Probably wouldn't have saved her, but no one even made the effort. Our subways are even more dangerous now than they were a few years ago when actually our mayor was running on subway safety. And it's gotten worse. How did that happen? I don't know. But I intend to step up and be a voice for the people, be a voice for my communities. I intend to actually campaign on the subway lines. There's actually 5 stops in that district on the 7 where there's been stabbings, there's been gang activity, there's illegal vendors outside, and there's prostitution in some of those lanes. It gets worse as you go up and up further in the 7 line. As far as healthcare and taking care of our our seniors. I'll give this off to the next person because I don't want to take too much time. I'll take too much, sorry.
okay, thank you. I just talked with a timer and I asked him to start holding up cards. Everybody, if you could limit your answers to 2 minutes. Okay, so the timer. Huh?
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, and what's disheartening is when you look at these emergency rooms, and I live not far from Elmhurst Hospital, and you look at some of the other clinics that they have in the neighborhoods, it's being overwhelmed. We can't take these people in because now what's happening is our seniors and our own citizens are being, really neglected. And that's another thing too, is that we don't have, sorry about that. We have nobody that's advocating for our own people, our own communities. And I live in a community, where there's a lot of elderly people. There are people who are scared to go to Roosevelt Avenue, and they can't make their appointments. And because also of the 34th Street, where they made that whole run, the ambulances can't get through. And we have our city council member that I know a lot of people contacted, he's no help. So we have to be more accessible and listen more to the people. I'd be open to listening to George if he would ever come back and specifically address his concerns and how it would help in that area, or when I could speak to it. I'm not certain what he meant, but okay, that's fine, thank you.
All right, thank you. 2 minutes. All right, that was an excellent question. I already have plans on how to deal with these issues. If anyone is familiar with the subcommittee meetings for the city council, you'll be very familiar with me. I already attend subcommittee meetings. I already advocate on behalf of healthcare, transportation, and the likes. I actually have some unique ideas that I've been seeing in New York since the likes of the 1800s. I propose that in Queens we build canal systems in order to transport goods and people, just like they did in the early 1800s. The Queensborough president role was established in 1889, and the powers were severely limited in 1989. But within that time frame, several Queensborough presidents have been able to make various headways. So I propose that we use land, sea, and air more effectively. And for healthcare, we work with the unions and we create sustainable neighborhoods. I have a model where each neighborhood will sustain itself with home farms, ambulance services, and own security. I think we can all secure our own areas. If anyone has ever called the police and waited 3-4 hours for them to come, you know that we already control our own neighborhoods. We just need the resources to do it. So with my plan, I will ensure that everyone here is equipped with the resources to run our own neighborhoods. Self-sustaining neighborhoods is the key. We cannot wait for ambulances to come from across town. We cannot wait for police to come. We all should be police officers for our own communities and ambulance people. So everybody should be trained in order to sustain themselves in their own neighborhoods. So that's part of my plan, and also to work with colleges and volunteer groups and to establish task force that's related to addressing these specific issues. My campaign manager here is 19 years old. He's going to help me reach out to the colleges and make sure that we have these, when we establish these self-sustaining neighborhoods, that we ensure that we train people, and we ensure we equip the youth to take over these roles so that our neighborhoods can sustain itself. So it's no longer about waiting for someone to help us. It's about helping ourselves.
So, on the matter of healthcare, you know, I have a 80-year-old grandmother who lives with me. Okay, last year she got very sick, and for 3 months I had to, while not nurse her back to health, I was basically her aide for 3 months in Colombia, the country, not the university. And, you know, I was in the hospital with my mother many times during those visits, and I come back here, and while relatively better, there were a lot of bureaucracies that were very similar, unfortunately. It's why, you know, while I'm just running, I see very little what the city council can do as far as healthcare. But, you know, say what you want about your state. That's why we have a state legislature. There's issues that they have to deal with, and it's why I am for the New York Health Act in most, if not almost all of those matters. As far as the MTA, I live in Northeast Queens. We have like 5 bus lines. We have an LIRR station. We have the Port Washington line, okay, to take you from Port Washington to Penn Station. So for us, congestion pricing does not impact us a lot, because while we drive, we have cars, a lot of us are driving to see our family in Long Island. I have cousins in Long Island, in North Babylon, that I see any chance I get, you know. Or they're coming, and vice versa, you know. So my mother works as a paralegal in the city and takes the QM2, okay? So for us in Northeast Queens, it doesn't really impact us, and I would like to at least open more accessibility for our elderly and low-income people to afford to take the MTA. Thank you.
Speak up a little bit, make sure the mic is close to you so that we can hear you. I appreciate that.
Okay, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Can you hear me well now?
Better.
So, I feel like we don't have to give healthcare to immigrants and migrants, because they shouldn't be getting it, it should be us. And that's why our hospitals are overfilling. Because I saw it over the summer, that in the hospitals, that there are a lot of illegal immigrants there, because you know, they gotta check them. So I feel like that we gotta create universal health care for every legal person here, though. And now going on the MTA, I live in Staten Island, so it's different. There's a lot of buses. We have a transit center. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
healthcare and MTA can take the whole day, and we all know many people do not get the care they need, and MTA is broke. They always need more money, and subway is a disaster. More homelessness, lack of cleanliness. Anyone who took the subway lately can speak to you about the condition of our subway. I'm running on affordability and accountability. So we need a real audit for the MTA. We need to know where our money goes. We cannot keep voting for the same people and expect a change to happen. I always wonder, if you do not see really change in your neighborhood, why do you keep voting for the same people? I still believe we the people have the power and we can change this. So let's unite to take our city back, one neighborhood at a time, and let's put the right people in the right place. And we need to audit the city MTA, and we need to know where is our money go. Thank you.
All right. I thought we were passing the microphone down there.
Me too, but.
Okay. All right, everybody. I worked in Elmhurst Hospital emergency room for 7 years as a patient transport. Okay, so I've seen it, heard it, gunshots, you name it, stab wounds, from anything that can happen. I've seen it and had to deal with it. Our emergency rooms are overrun. That area in Jackson Heights is overrun. We're a #1 trauma center, so we see it all. We bring it all. A police officer gets shot, they come over to us. Someone gets hurt, FDNY, they come over to us. We don't have a burn unit, but if there's smoke inhalation, anything that's cardiac related, it comes over to us. We are overrun, and yes, we do need overhaul, and it would be great to have more facilities open, like urgent cares, to deal with people that have these minor issues that think that going to the ER will take care of it. We need to have the ER for emergencies only. And so for that to happen, we just need to educate people that don't understand that you don't have to go to the ER for everything. So that's where it just comes where the community has to reach out and provide information to others. As far as the MTA is concerned, that's a big animal that's going to be dealt with accordingly, right? Everybody has their issues and gripes with it, and things have to get taken care of there, and we have to start making enough noise to draw attention to it so we can make sure that it gets fixed and that we have the proper representation to do it. So this is my deal for everything. Thank you again for having me up here.
I will keep this fairly quick, just because my new friend from Brooklyn here actually kind of hit on some of the points that I was going to make. I think both the MTA and healthcare they boil down to the same issue, which again, mismanagement of funds. You cannot tell me that you do not have enough money if you've got millions of people riding the subway every single day, every single one paying $3 each way. It's millions and millions and millions of dollars that go unaccounted for. Healthcare, another thing, diapers cost $12. One diaper, $12 in the ER. Not in the ER, in the OR. So things like that where there's buckets and buckets of money, again, coming back to treating it like monopoly money. Something is falling out somewhere. And that's where I do believe that the accountability, forcing transparency, audits, I think this is gonna help get us to a better place in both of those cases. Thanks.
Okay, my turn. Okay, two things. Unfortunately, John had to leave, and those were two good questions. Yes, MTA and hospitals, healthcare. Some of the city council is sort of limited as to what we can do, city council can do. But we can agree that the MTA is absolutely chaotic, all the crime that's going on. And a lot of times, they go to the data, and it's like crime is 5% this and the other percent that, but tell that to the person that just got molested, touched, thrown on the track, beaten, spat on, whatever. Some of them doesn't even make that data. So we must, although we can have no control of the MTA, we can advocate, because that's our role. As elected officials, we must advocate for the people. What is it that's bothering us? What is it that we to realize that we have that power? So unfortunately, some of the local electeds don't to just water and orders, go back to the point. And as far as the hospital, well, hospitals, you know, the state is the one to control. We need more hospitals. We really do, especially in our area, in Jackson Heights. We have now, we're gonna have a soccer field, we're gonna have probably a casino, but nobody talks about hospitals. And so, again, as an advocate, as a local elected, you must advocate for all these two. These two things we must advocate for, and that's why I'll be strong about. Thank you.
Y'all seem to forget that they injected all of you with experimental mRNA vaccines. Everybody is gonna get sick and get cancer and die and be sterile. Okay, so whoever took that vaccine, congratulations, you're gonna die very, very soon. And in terms of the MTA, abolish it, 100%. The trains need to be free, the buses need to be free, and there should be no tolls ever, ever, and ever. And that's the way you fix it. Keep the money in the pockets of the people. We have mental health crisis. That's what the issue is. We need to reopen Creedmoor. We need to reopen that center that's in Randall's Island. And we need to take care of the people that got screwed up mentally over the last couple of years where nobody was allowed to go to school, nobody was allowed to go eat at the restaurants, and everybody got injected. We got to sue the hell out of Pfizer and all of the pharmaceutical companies and then take that money and then give it back to us. And that's how we're going to fix this. Thank you very much.
What can I say after that? You gotta give it up for my fellow candidates. Very courageous what these men are doing, and I truly appreciate your service for the people.
And lady.
And ladies. I apologize. I'm not a politician. I'm a common sense problem solver, businessman. And frankly, it hurts because my father died in a Queens hospital. So over the last 30 years or so of my life, I've spent building houses and homes and communities all across Queens, from Bayside to the Rockaways, Jamaica, Springfield Gardens, Cambria Heights, you name it. I'm not a talker. I'm a doer. I feel we could sit here all day long, and I've traveled with my campaign team all across Queens, and we've seen that there are lots of problems in Queens. People are sick and tired of the issues and the direction we're going. And quite frankly, I too am sick and tired of hearing these people sick and tired. When I'm elected Queens Borough President, there'll be no talking, it'll be all about doing. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
No, I was
Okay.
gonna recognize somebody else who had a question earlier.
I got a question.
Okay, no, wait. I'm gonna try to take these in order. First I wanna say though, sometimes you can judge the quality of a question, not just by the question itself, but also by the responses that you get. And I think we got some really good responses to those questions, even though I found the questions kind of hard to follow. But you had your hand up earlier, so I'm gonna give you this first.
My question is very simple. It's a questionnaire. You just said agree or don't agree, that'll be okay, everybody. So it's very quick. I also run for office. I hope in New York City to have a fundamental change, like redesign the system. Because all the problems are caused by the system. Like you said, ambulance is too less, ambulance is too much. Is a safety problem? If it's a safety problem, you can't say the emergency room works good or not, or what else, right? It's a safety problem. If the safety problem is that our regulations has a problem, like before. Okay, very simple. Okay. The smaller municipal government mayor have a new rules, like if I run for mayor, mayor have a new function of rules. The council district will have bigger organization, more power to management yourself, So attractive Republican or Democrat to move to your district, you have your own policy, education and abortion or whatever, house, whatever. So do you agree or not agree? Please raise your hand. The question is, the smaller municipal government, the bigger council district, that will change the New York City charter.
He wants to shift power from the executive to legislative in terms of city government.
Local council district more power. Shift power.
Do you folks understand the question?
Yes. Raise your hand. If you agree, raise your hand. Yes.
Can you give, wait.
Raise our hand, next question.
Can you give quick, please, yes, okay? You have your chance.
I think what he's saying is.
Please, everybody,
To the districts.
everybody, please. I want to say something, yeah.
Quiet in the back, I can't hear what's going on, and I need to hear.
Is that something that each one of you can give a quick answer to? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, those of you who can give quick answers to that, go. You? No. Okay.
Shifting power from the charter to the local city council, will take it from, as I said earlier, we need laws that help people for today. So to his point, giving city council more legislative control would allow someone who's touching closer to their constituency the ability to make laws that make sense to their constituents.
In regards to the education system, I agree. I would have to look into in other matters, but most likely I would agree. We need more power in the city council. Mayor has too much control as it stands.
Thank you.
I feel like we need to have control. The people who we elect need to have more control.
When it comes to making laws or imposing more fines on the people, I do not think anyone who is appointed, not elected, should have the power to make such decisions. Only elected people should make the decision when it comes to especially imposing extra money or fines on the people. I agree on that point.
I agree. The city definitely deserves more power. We know what the people are going through out here, and we can fix it our way. So definitely yes.
I agree. Same points everyone has made at this point. We're elected, or you would be elected for the purposes of representing the people. Why would we be the biggest voice?
My answer is yes, and the power should be for the people. Thank you.
The government has absolutely no control over us. The power is within us in the administrative process, and until we learn how to deal with it ourselves, we should not abdicate that power to any elected official ever.
Yes. Great.
My stance remain consistent. We always have to put the people of Queens first place, now and all the time. It's our government, it's our power.
Okay.
On the stack, over here. After that gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a gentleman?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My question is, who should Donald Trump pardon in connection with January 6th? And I'll give you three choices. 1, everyone. 2, no one. Or 3, only non-violent.
Okay. Can everybody please, you want to say that once more, real quick?
Who, if anyone, should Donald Trump pardon in connection with January 6th? Should he pardon everyone? Should he pardon no one? Or should he pardon only non-violent offenders?
Okay. One is everyone, 2 is
No one.
no one,
Or non-violent.
and 3 is
Or if
non-violent.
you want to say some other option, let me know. I'm trying to-
Okay. 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say everyone, and I'll tell you why. Look at the insurrections that's been going on our border. Nothing's been done about that. They're attacking our border guards. They're attacking our Homeland Security guards. They can't say anything about it. This has been not even really, you don't see it in the mainstream media, but you can see it documented a lot of times online. You can see people that are down there, independent reporters and journalists doing that. Also, when everyone recalls the riots that took place in Minnesota and cities all across the country, liberals, even here, did anybody suffer any consequences? They didn't call that insurrections. They didn't call that violent protest, they called those peaceful protests, and they weren't. We saw precincts burned down, and we've seen our communities ravaged, and we've seen people that, even business owners, that their businesses were looted, destroyed, burned down, all in the name of social justice, which was bullshit. It was just people that were enabled by the Democratic and the liberal politicians that were in control, and you see how they do it. Now they turn it around and call this insurrections. So I think everyone should be partying for that.
Okay, please, shorter answers. We want to give everybody a chance to say something, okay?
As a graduate of CUNY, John Jay College of Criminal Justice, someone who's worked as a paralegal for several years, I would have to say that each case should be handled on a case-by-case basis. We would need more information at this time. And to my point as CUNY Borough President, I care about everyone. We're all members of the human family. I think there's cases that's prior to that should also be looked at as well. So I think that we just need an entire investigation. That's a task force that I'm actually going to create to look at all types of things.
Okay, next. Thank you.
Similar to my colleague here.
Please.
Similar to my colleague here, I would say at the very least, the non-violent offenders, or to that at the very least, let the courts do their process, as there were some souls who unfortunately got mixed up in the chaos, who got conflated with the more violent and more radical people within that situation.
Thank you.
I think the non-violent ones should be pardoned, but I have to see the case-by-case basis for the rest of the ones.
Definitely should be a transparent review for every case, and whoever not involved within any violence should be pardoned. I will leave this to the president, to the legal system, and should be away from party politics. Every case should be reviewed, and whoever deserves to be pardoned should be pardoned.
I really have no comment on this. This does not affect my district. This does not affect the people of New York City.
Absolutely.
This is, you know, we're gonna work within our area. We have to fix what's here. That was one day that, you know, a lot of things got out of control, and we need to worry about us, and we need to worry about here right now.
Thank you.
So I would say, I think violence in any case is not tolerated. The same way that we don't want it on the subways, it shouldn't have happened in the Democratic, those rallies either, whatever they were calling these. Two wrongs do not make a right. So I think violence is always going to be a problem no matter what.
Well, as a former law enforcement individual here, I think that we should look at everything on a case-by-case basis, and also we must allow due process to take its course and respect everyone. We're all Americans, we're all citizens, and whatever happens, due process should be first. Thank you.
Thank you.
As Thomas Jefferson said, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is our building, it is our government, and we should be able to do the same thing at City Council and at Queensborough Hall. And if we're going to take the city back, we have to take the city back.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more. The law is the law at the end of the day. My position is we can't basket all of these into one case. We gotta look at it on a case-by-case basis, but I'm a fighter, and oftentimes when the government steps out of line, we have to come together, we have to unite, and we gotta protest. And things happen in the melee, but we have to look at all of this on a case-by-case basis and let justice be served.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
V3 Philip Grillo, who's one of our board members.
Yeah, thank you. Recognized. Thank you very much. My name is Mario. I'm looking to run for city council in the Bronx. I'm just starting this from fresh. But my question to the panel is, there's been a mounting offense by the unions and civil service workers and the first responders and the hospital workers that they've been forced to take Medicare Advantage. These unions are asking city council members to support them. And how do you feel about that? Because today it's them, and tomorrow it's our Medicare.
Excuse me a second. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's start down on this end just for a change of pace. Thanks. Thank you.
No problem.
Jim, what was the question? I'm sorry, what was the
Will you support the working party, the unions who are against Medicare Advantage?
That sounds good.
Okay. The unions.
Tell them that.
Yeah. 1 minute for each person.
We'll be contacting them.
The retirement plans were altered, so they were promised something, and they're playing switcheroo, right?
Yes.
All that.
Yeah.
My role is to run for, I'm running for, to be the next Queens Borough president. And so what we could do as the borough president, along with budget priorities and all that, is very limited, but that's certainly something that with the best team I have, we're going to look into and come up with a decision that is in line with what the people truly want. So I don't have enough information at this time to render an opinion on that either way, but that's something that's certainly worth looking at.
Thank you.
Unions are essential to protect the workers. Where was the union leadership when they forced vaccinated everybody? Where is all of the people that were fired for not taking an experimental vaccine? The leadership of the unions are the problem. The union workers need to be taken care of through their wages, through their benefits, through their health care. And if all the illegals can get everything for free, all of us can get everything for free.
As a union member myself, when we have a contract and we are promised healthcare, we must see what they were promised. We don't want them changing because that's not what we agreed on. So it's a violation, and yes, I will fight to the end to make sure we keep our medical coverage, our benefits as delineated in our contract.
Thank you.
I think it's been interesting, we're seeing like a rising trend, or I don't know if this has been going on all along, but where union leadership is no longer actually representing the people that they're supposed to be. So seeing again and again where union leaders are making deals like that don't necessarily benefit the people. So in those cases, I think it's really important for us to get the full picture. Oftentimes the unions are voted in or elected in to be the voice of the people, and then they turn around and bait and switch. So I think here it's very important to not blindly side with unions. I would not be in favor of something like that, where they're turning the backs on their people.
Thank you.
Okay, so I work for Emblem Health. I am an enroller, so I deal with, signing people up every single day for coverage, even if they have, immigration status here or not. They still get some type of coverage, and I'm proud to help people get coverage that they need. Now, this issue and concern with the unions and Medicare, this is always tough because Medicare is one of the hardest things for our seniors to have to handle. It's a different transition. You end up losing a lot of coverage. Some don't qualify for Medicaid because of their income, and that income is not enough to help them with the medical bills and things that they have to handle and deal with. So definitely would have to look into that, make sure that the representatives are doing their job correctly, and that our retirees and our seniors get the respect and the medical care that they need.
Thank you.
I will support the right of every group from the union and for organizing, but when it comes to issues between the union and the employer, I believe this will be between the union and the employer. For me, as running for city council, if a bill comes in front of me, my full support will be for the hard-working people and for their right to organize and have a say in the work conditions they have.
Thank you.
What was the question again?
Okay, will you support the unions who are against Medicare Advantage, that they were forced to take it? They want a choice. Contact Maria Pizzatola as the person, if you get elected, to contact.
I don't really know the answer to this question. I don't know enough about it, but I do support unions. I know my parents are a part of one, but I support unions a lot, though.
Thank you.
As someone who has, again, door knocked probably 300 to 500 doors, I have as someone who has door knocked over 300 to 500 doors, and I have spoken to our elderly community, especially as an educator. I have ties with my colleagues who are in the UFT and who find this issue very concerning. And if I lose this, he's absolutely correct. This becomes my problem when I'm a teacher. This all goes kaput. So I am against the program entirely. I think it is a disgrace because it will impact me at the end of the day. As he pointed out. So yes, I am against it. And for all unions that did that.
As the Queensborough president candidate, I would have to take a different stance than my colleague here. As the Queensborough president, I am actually your liaison between the city government and residents. So when the position was first started in 1889, when Queens County became a part of New York, the Queensborough president had significant budgetary roles. In 1998, that shifted, so now it's more advocacy. So to your point, I think everyone deserves a choice. No one should be forced to do anything that they don't want to do. We all have inalienable rights that is given to us when we're born, no matter what we look like. As a special education teacher, someone who teaches people with disabilities, I say everybody is a perfect body, everybody has a right to their rights. So no one should be forced to do it, and I will advocate to ensure and work with all city council members to make sure that legislation is passed, that no one is forced to do business with a company. There's no more monopolies. The inside trust was all broken down. So no monopoly should force people to purchase their items.
Thank you. I work for the city. I'm represented by a union. Just like Ms. Caruso was saying, this affects all of us. I will always be pro-union and pro-workers because the workers for the unions are the backbone of the city to keep the city moving, and our services, they're more important, taking care of them, and yeah, we should have the choice. And that's, I didn't even know about this until you brought this up, and that's unfortunate, and I will always be a voice to support that and support the workers and make sure that the unions are working on their behalf.
Contact Marianne Pizzatola.
Thank you very much, thank you. Okay, Brandon, you had your hand up a while ago. Do you have a question that is compact and that each person could just go down the line with? Okay, take it away. Brandon.
So human trafficking and prostitution has been a very, very big problem, specifically in Queens. I just want to know what each of you can do to address that and what your thoughts are on that, because it's not only us that have to see that. If I'm driving home, we are going to be seeing them in front of the churches, in front of the schools. Our children also have to see that garbage. So what do you all think about that, and what actions are you going to take?
1 minute each, please. Thanks.
Well, it's a common sense issue, right? And you work with the civic groups, because the civic groups and the churches, I didn't even realize that they were in front of churches. I'm very active with my parish, in my community, in Woodside, where I'm from originally, and the civic groups like the Kiwanis Foundation for Sunnyside. I know there's a few others, Juniper, you may not even know that also, but I believe that's really people that are involved in the community that come together, and those are the people you would approach. You would meet with them, the community boards, and these are the issues you got to speak of. I tried doing that in Jackson Heights, and they were only talking about the co-ops and most of the things that have to do with cleaning up in the streets. They didn't want to even touch that subject because if it's not directly affecting them and directly in their neighborhood, they don't care about it. So we have to go to the neighborhoods they do and be a voice for those people. That's how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Jimmy, are you?
I would like to say, to your point, let's try to reimagine what's going on here. Some of those sex workers are actually victims. So let's, in my plan to sustain neighborhoods, and I have a zero crime initiative, nobody innately just wants to commit crime. It's all conditions that force people to do things that they would not otherwise do in a healthy society. So in my role as Queensborough president, I plan on helping the city council and all other residents and working with all other officials to make Queens a place that no one has to commit a crime. Everyone is fed, everyone has a home, and everyone has some type of occupation. So with the jobs that I'm going to create with my sustainable neighborhood plan, there will be no need for sex workers. There will be workers, people who go for employment. So that's part of my role. I'm going to make the trajectory of the land so that no one even wants to commit a crime. It's not necessary.
Okay, thank you very much.
I agree with my colleague here. I would just add, as a city councilman, we should also be working, of course, just to add on, not to take away anything, but to work with law enforcement on why these women are doing what what they're doing, why anyone is committing a crime. I think he's absolutely correct. Just want to add, so I agree with him 100%, just that we also have to work with law enforcement. That's an extra component to that part of the statement.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
I'm not running in the clean district, so this question is not part of it.
Okay, next. Thank you.
That's a serious issue, and I do not think police or law enforcement only can solve the problem. I agree with you. Our kids and our going to school should not be exposed to all that stuff in the street. But that will need coordination with every agency in our city to tackle, and hopefully, when I'm elected to city council, I will bring a bill or some legislative to make sure we treat or we solve that problem at the root cause of it, to make sure no kids or no teenager leave their home or be a runaway or involved with such activity.
Okay, thank you.
So this is a sensitive subject in my area because we are at the forefront of it. We are known as the market of sweethearts on Roosevelt Avenue. This is what I've been fighting against, and this is what I will continue to fight against. We have, by PS 89, the school that I went to, my elementary school, we have a brothel within 2 blocks of there in almost any direction that you put it. There are houses of worship in the area, we have churches, and we have just families, hardworking families that are being overrun by women outside, and pimps and human trafficking and all these things that are happening in our neighborhood when it shouldn't. And the fact that a lot of our elected officials in the area have not done anything or even spoken up against it until I started making some noise about it and calling them out for it. So now it's an issue because now they're bringing it up, now they're talking about it. They didn't do anything before, so now it's my turn to make sure that I do something about it now. We need to have it quashed. It has to go away. We can't have this in front of our children. We can't have this in front of our families anymore. And that's one thing I'm definitely going to fight very hard for.
Thank you, Ramses.
Agree with the points that other folks have made. I think we need to work closely with law enforcement. I think social services come into play, potentially immigration as well. These are things that we don't want for our kids, and we also do have to acknowledge that many of these women are victims as well. So I think those are 2 key things.
Thank you.
Brandon, yes, to answer your questions, I'm absolutely against human trafficking. I'm absolutely against the sex workers in front of the schools and brothels everywhere. And so the possible solution is twofold. One, we must enforce the laws that are currently in our book. And also, we also have to be careful and always keep in mind that we need opportunity for the women and our girls that are being trafficked in our neighborhoods. And yes, it's a tough road ahead, but I think we can do that. And we can start by enforcing the laws that we now have in the books.
Thank you.
I think one of the big issues with human trafficking is that a lot of these people that are brought over here are under contract. So unless we deal with the family members of the human trafficking victims in their home countries, there's really nothing else you can do because that's what they hold over their heads. And the one thing I don't want to happen, which I know that Brandon and Ramses have been working really, really hard against this, they're on the forefront, but I don't want to see federalization of police. I don't want to see state police on the streets. I don't want to see National Guard on the streets. And also on top of that, what ended up happening with all the drugstores and all these brothels, that the police corruption is so bad that they would go into these places and steal all the cash. So we have to deal with the police officers that have been stealing money, and we must deal with the people that live in their home countries, because that's really where the issue lies, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Very, very good question, Brandon. In fact, I just came from a speaking where we were discussing this particular issue. Prostitution is no good for any community, particularly my community here in Queens. And I have to disagree with my opponent. I don't think that there is a reason why people become prostitutes or commit crimes. Quite frankly, I don't care. It should not happen in our neighborhoods. When I'm elected borough president, day one, I'm going to tackle this issue to shut down all of these illegal prostitution shops that are being masked as massage parlors. I'm not a speaker. I'm a doer. I'll get the job done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hold on. I know there are more questions. It's 9:21. Everybody heard that? I know everybody has more questions. As far as the regular meeting goes, we're just about out of time. Okay, so if anybody who has questions wants to talk with any of the candidates about them, please don't let them leave. Okay? Huh? Sorry?
I just want to do something about Executive Board Member Phil Grillo.
Can you, real quick.
How was Phil Grillo?
Why can't they all be like that?
Well, give me. She wants to know. I'll tell you. Phil Grillo was remanded. He was charged with a misdemeanor and was taken into custody, which is never done. He did that because the judge said that he was probably going to be pardoned and he wanted his pound of flesh. They're doing what's called diesel therapy. They put all the January 6ers on buses and they take them all around the country. Hopefully on January 20th, he will be pardoned and we will go pick him up.
Thank you. Okay, like I said, if anybody has questions, please buttonhole the candidates afterwards. I want to make a couple of points. The biggest challenge faced by a republic, now we hear the word democracy a lot. We are not a democracy. The United States is a republic. And in the U.S. Constitution, it guarantees to each one of the states a Republican form of government. We're not a democracy. But the biggest challenge that we face is getting good people to run for office. Running for office is one of the most difficult things that anyone can do. You have to be willing to stand up in front of people and get laughed at and criticized and all that. And you have to run and run. You have to be on the go a lot. It's a very difficult thing to do. And so I hope that everybody, please give these people a big hand. Yeah. We heard some very coherent speeches tonight. These people have very good ideas. They're very good thinkers. One more point. I believe that one of the purposes of a political club should be not only to support candidates, but to help candidates be the best candidates they can be. And by doing this kind of thing, I think we're doing our part, they're doing their part, but they deserve our wholehearted support for everything they're doing. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to, Danny, but
okay. As you can see, these ladies and gentlemen, they all came here, how much time it took. But we would be remiss if we didn't think of how much time it took Daniel to arrange everything.
Danny Mayo for chair of the Queens GOP. Let's go.
Thank you, and that reminds me, we owe a big debt to our timer, Jimmy Schwartzman. Fantastic work. Okay.
I guess before we end the meeting, each one of the candidates had a raffle ticket, the 50-50 that was paid for earlier. Gradually, each one is just announced the name of the ticket. It's on the back. Martha. Anything on the table? Eric, anything on the table? Eric, anything on the table? Martha, anything on the table? Eric, anything on the table? Eric, anything on the table? Martha, anything on the table?
Martha again.
Anything on the table?
All right, you're winning everything. I'm keeping your ticket. I'm keeping it for myself.
All right, okay, congratulations. Do I have a motion? It's now 9:28. We'll go ahead and meeting. We have a motion from Kathy Malik and the meeting. We have a second from Regina Fay. All in favor to conclude the meeting, say aye. Aye. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Very nice to listen to you. Thank you.
Fantastic job, buddy. I'm sure you didn't expect to be on
And that was today's Central Queens Republican Club meeting. We met some candidates, we talked about some issues, and hopefully we moved the issues a little bit more forward. And we look forward to seeing you next time. So thanks, and tune in next time.